All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Utah State offensive lineman Jake Eichorn, man. How's it going, bro?
It's going good, man. Just ready to talk.
Hell yeah, bro. For those people who are not familiar with you, man, tell them who you are.
Well, I'm a small town kid, little tiny town, Beaver, Utah is where I grew up. Played at multiple universities in my collegiate years. I played at Weber State for 2 seasons. Played at BYU for 2 seasons and Utah State to finish up my career in college. Not sure quite how many starts I have under my belt. Played in a lot of games and a lot of different conferences, and it's been really, really fun.
You got a lot of experience, so you got like many experience. So that kind of gives you a little bit of the advantage at this level, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. I've had 4 O-line coaches, so I've had different philosophies on everything. I know tons of scheme. I've played all 5 positions. So, yeah, it's given me a good stepping stone.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what got you into football as an early part as you were a kid?
Man, so I didn't play football till I was like probably in 7th grade. And it really wasn't my sport. I was a baseball guy, like through and through. Started playing in 7th grade. Freshman year, I started playing basketball as well. So in high school, I was playing 3 sports, chasing baseball mostly. Up until my junior year, and so COVID happened, shut down my junior season of baseball. I'm working construction with my dad, and he ends up getting a cancer diagnosis and has to go like straight into surgery, some really kind of crazy stuff that opens your eyes, and he had a long talk with me and said, hey, he's like, I think you need to send football film out. You need to try and find like a scholarship for football, because in baseball, right, they only really take care of maybe tuition. Everything else is not taken care of like a football scholarship does, and financially we weren't going to be able to do it. So really what got me into football was my dad convincing me to send film out when I was a junior, senior in high school. And I've loved it ever since. Just went at it as hard as I could.
Man, that's got to be tough, man. But yeah, prayers to your dad. I mean, has he been living strong?
Yeah, he's in remission now. I think he's got a few more checkups until he's really considered cancer free. But he's doing really well. Yeah,
It's
he
a
made a good
tough
recovery.
situation, man. During the COVID years, there's those hard times, man. It's a challenging type of year that everybody's gone through. I mean, I lost my father during that COVID year, so they had to be a really tough time, and then losing certain people that I was close to. So you know how that type of disease was catching on with people and all that, and it
Oh
affected.
yeah.
Yeah, it had to be challenging during the COVID year, huh?
Yeah, it was scary. He ended up getting COVID while he was on chemo, and it got him really sick. About a week, probably a week of straight of a pretty high fever, and it was a scary time for sure.
Yeah, my grandfather caught that and didn't make it, so that was the sad part. But living strong, and that's what it was, But yeah, football was encouraging by your father, so that kind of tells you a lot about how he believes in you.
Oh yeah, he saw in me everything before I ever had an inkling, and then college coaches kind of helped that develop as the years went on, and yeah.
But when you were coming out of high school, what were the offers like besides Weber State?
That was it.
That was it.
I
So
was a
Weber State was the only
0-star
one. Huh?
athlete. Yep.
So what do you take away from Weber State that you got the experience from before you went to like BYU and those other schools like Utah State?
Um, I had some amazing relationships there. Kind of got out in the real world. I'm from a town of like 3,500 people, maybe. So I grew up very minimal, small town life, like nothing big like that. Ogden's a pretty big community, so it was like a whole change in atmosphere, learning how to be a man on my own, like I think that stage was really for me to develop as a person. And I had to develop with my body, because I got in to Weber State at about 245 pounds, maybe 250. I was really light and weak, not very strong in the weight room or anything. So I had to make up a lot of ground that first year I redshirted. By the time that next season hit after my redshirt year, I was probably 275, 280 and much, much stronger. So I had to put in a lot of grind to get things that were given to a lot of people, you know?
Yeah, it's sure. Like you had a long ways to go, and you had to add up some weight and muscle, like you said. But yeah, I guess you took that experience from a learning experience, and then you played at Weber State for that time being. Then you went to BYU. What was the atmosphere going to BYU like?
So I went to BYU because the head coach at Weber, who had recruited me, was Jay Hill. He ended up being the defensive coordinator at BYU, and I wanted to hop over there with him. I just have a lot of loyalty to him. Love the guy. And BYU was an awesome experience for me. I actually met my wife there, found God, I would say. And I learned a lot about football because I ended up being sort of the utility guy for them. So I was playing all 5 positions at all times and had to really develop in that aspect.
I'm sure you had to. And plus, why do you feel like versatility for the offensive line is so important at the next level, man? Why do you feel it's so important?
Well, the next level, I mean, it's sink or swim. So, you know, you got a center who can play the rest of the 4 positions, and you have a guy that can play 4 positions but can't play center. That could be making a travel squad. That could be making a practice squad roster, you know, like that's how it's like a game of inches with the NFL. So I think versatility just adds value to you for a team. You know what I mean? Even at the collegiate level, it added a lot of value for me. It allowed my coach not to have to worry about moving guys around the offensive line if somebody went down. If somebody went down, I would just plug and play at right guard, left guard, center, so guys wouldn't have to jumble around from their positions.
Yeah.
So it brings a lot of value to pretty much any division.
Yeah, it does, because like in case something happens, like let's say the center's hurt, they can just plug you right into center and have somebody else play
Right.
guard.
Right. You don't have to move a guard inside and then move a guard to his spot. No, you just have somebody who's playing that utility role. And I think a lot of NFL teams have that.
Yeah.
But being able to play all 5 will definitely add the value that I think I need to stick.
Yeah, it's definitely important because then you have a better chance to be on the football field.
Right.
But so then going to Utah State, what do you take away from the last couple of years over there?
So playing my last season there was really fun. So Coach Mendenhall, Bronco Mendenhall, I got very close with, got to learn so much from. And we had 82, 83 transfers on our team that year. So it was like we were kind of just like the band of misfits that didn't play quite as much as we wanted to at the P4 level. And we all kind of just got there, and it was like we were all hungry and angry. And like that's kind of what our team took to heart, and he helped develop that within us. So like when we were on the field, it was like F everybody else, like we're gonna be that gritty, nasty team. And that was such a fun atmosphere to play with. Like every guy just wanted a piece of somebody, and then like it was just a dirty style of ball almost. And that fits me. That's like an O lineman's dream to play on teams like that. So
Oh man! So
it was a great
you guys
time.
felt like the disrespectful kind of guys, like the ones that were overlooked or all that other stuff, huh?
100%. And
That
it was
gritty,
sweet.
that it should have been us, should have been to this level or this,
Yeah.
right?
And then you go look at our games. I mean, I think we put up like 26 on A&M, and we put up 35 on Vandy. So like we had some good things going. It's obviously a transition year because Bronco Mendenhall's first year was this year. So I think that kind of reflects the record, but the record doesn't reflect how close we were able to get as a team so quickly in his system. And it was a blast.
It
Met some
had to
great
be.
people.
It had to be because of the opportunity that presented itself. So
Yes.
why should NFL teams draft you, man?
There's a lot of reasons. I think I would say the biggest one is my versatility. And then right behind that, I don't think anybody works as hard as I do to be where I am. And I'm going to bring that mindset wherever I go because I've had to have that mindset since I was in high school. I played in the smallest classification of high school ball, had to grind to get one scholarship, got a scholarship, went from there, went to BYU, played at the highest level I could, did as much as I could. And when I knew I needed to go get some more tape, I went and got more tape. Like, I'll do anything for a team. I'll sacrifice a lot to be a team guy. And I think that's invaluable in today's world because there's not a lot of guys that are extrinsically motivated. There's a lot of intrinsic motivation now in the NFL, and if they want somebody who's a true team guy, I think I'm a very good pick for them.
And your versatility, like you said, but where are you currently training at? Like, are you training more as a guard, tackle, or center mostly?
Right now, I try to train every position. I think that I personally really love playing center. I enjoy not necessarily being in control, but being able to make calls. I enjoy reading defenses. I enjoy the study of that position. And I also really love the angles for blocking at that position. So I would love to say center, but I really want to market myself as an all five guy.
Yeah. You want to do it that for sure. But like if you feel comfortable at a certain position, but like I think playing center to me, because I played it before, it's one of the most difficult positions to play compared to the rest of the offensive line because you got to make the calls, you got to snap the ball the right way, and you got to go on your quick assignment blocks and all that stuff. And it's like if anybody wants to say playing tackle and guard is harder at the offensive, no. I would say playing center is the most responsible position because you're the one that calls the protections, you're the one that communicates and all that stuff. And
yeah,
if you don't get it correctly, man, that can be all on you for that communication issue.
100%. I really like how you said, like, in terms of responsibility, that's one of the highest positions on the field. I think really only it's trumped by the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I really find that fun. I find that pressure fun. I do think tackle has some tough times too.
The outside blocking
Playing
and
in
all that
space
stuff.
can be really tough against some high level athletes, you know. But center has a lot more range in terms of what you're fighting against than tackle does. So
well, tackle does have the outside pressure issues or the pull from a distance, but I would say guard is probably the middle part where you're pretty much like it's not as hard depending on what side you're in. But because I mean, if you were, but playing center just has more of like you got to make sure the ball is hiked right, you got to make sure the protection's right, and you got to make sure as soon as you snap that ball, it's got to go into that play right away, or else you're a little behind the play.
Exactly, and I think the best centers are leaders. You know, they lead that unit. They're the guy that knows how to keep the guys together when times are tough. Knows how to get things communicated to everybody, all five of them. So I really enjoy that role. At Utah State, I was actually playing center until maybe 6 or 7 weeks, we were probably 6 or 7 practices into spring ball, and our left tackle ended up getting hurt, and they wanted to just evaluate me outside, you know, because it was spring ball. We were getting a feel for who was going to be where. And I moved out to left tackle, and I was playing really well. So they were like, "You want to stay out there, and maybe we'll go get a transfer portal center and try and get this line solidified." And I said, "I'm going to do whatever's asked of me for the team." So
Yeah, I can see why you stuck with tackle because who wants to do this? Who wants to do the snapping? I mean, the outside blocking plus your size, you can move. So
yeah,
but like you said, you want to be
honestly, for me, I just wanted to win, and I wanted to help everybody around me. And yeah, I think that's honestly the biggest thing that teams will like about me is I am all about whatever is needed to be done for the team.
Oh, absolutely. So how do you prepare yourself for these opponents when it comes to like how you do your like how do you study them on their tapes and all that, and then what do you do in your game day routine stuff?
Okay, so when I'm studying a player, as honestly, I like to study scheme before I study any of the players, because I feel like the scheme is going to help you understand where people are going. So like knowing that if you have a pushed mic, you might have like a DN pinch or a D tackle and a DN pirate underneath, things like that. So understanding like the patterns of movement that come with the scheme in front of you, I think is more important than necessarily studying the guy. Once you understand the scheme well enough, you're going to know where that guy's going to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you got to read their tendency, and you can have a little tell of what they're going to do, or you check the film of what to
Exactly.
expect out of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of like more important. If you know if you know what to expect for them, then you should be able to get ahead of it a little more, and
Yeah.
then you should have an understanding. But like, how do you prepare for your game day? Like, just 30 minutes or an hour before game day. How do you prepare yourself? Like, how do you go from there?
Honestly, I'm one of those people that can't get too wound up. If I do, I don't play with a clear mind. So I like to listen to good old country music, and I honestly just will take like a 10 or 15 minute time slot where I'm just listening to music, taking like we did this stuff in yoga with our breathing where it was like, saws and haws. I try to literally just breathe super focused. That'll be about an hour before the game. I'll go out, we'll hit our stretching, and that's when I kind of am able to turn it up a little bit, right? But going in with that clear mind is really important for me, because I think I lead in a lot of ways in terms of how I communicate. Even at left tackle, there was a lot of times I was able to make calls and help keep things on schedule in our offense in terms of calls and in terms of seeing blitzes and seeing schemes. So going in with a clear head was big for me. But once we start warming up, we start clashing heads. Like, I mean, it's a combative sport. It's time to go out there and not be scared to mother F somebody at
Yeah,
any moment. So
like you go from a little calm until eventually it gets close to game. That's when you bring your intensity a little more higher, I guess.
yes, I've noticed that if you hit intensity too early, I feel like it just dies off too quick.
It dies off
So
really quickly. Yeah, you want to at
mhm.
least try to balance it to where it's actually at the game, and then that's where you can bring the energy right there. It's like there's different ways how people do it that way. I mean,
Yeah.
so so what kind of scheme did you guys run for the offensive line? Like, from Utah State compared to what you had at BYU and Weber State? Like, what were the difference and what can translate it for you to the next level?
Okay. I'll go with BYU first. BYU is a lot of mid and wide zone. And we were really good at it. And our targeting was pretty simplistic. A lot of basic calls. And we had a lot of really good play actions off of that stuff, off of our wide zone and off of our mid zone, which I really enjoyed because it allows the O line not to have to sit and drop back all the time. You know what I mean? To throw the ball. We were able to take 2 steps, really sell that run, get back into pass demeanor after our hands were in, and sit on stuff. And it really opens up things over the top with their pass game there. Utah State was a little different in our run game. We were a lot of counter and a lot of power, especially towards the end of the season where we were kind of finding our identity as an offense because it was a new staff, new players. I really enjoyed that because I feel like majority of gap schemes are kind of FU runs, like going at somebody saying, all right, I'm more aggressive than you. I'm bigger than you. I'm just going to run it down your throat. And we did a lot of that. We ran with the quarterback. We ran with the running backs. We had all sorts of RPOs off of our gap schemes. So like our quarterback would take a step back, start running the counter 3 steps in, throwing I forget what they call it. It wasn't a quick slant, but it was a glance route, throwing glance routes over everybody all year. So we had a really fun offense at Utah State. It was explosive. Like once we got our run game going, we were popping the top off. We had really good receivers, Brady Boyd and Braden Pagan. Yeah, it was a blast. I would say BYU is a more traditional almost offense. Our offense at Utah State was a little more collegiate, like a lot of creativity to open things up for us, which I liked. It was really fun.
Okay, so that's a good way to put it. But what about Weber State? What were they running on offense?
Weber State was old school. We ran a lot of duo. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically power with no pullers.
Different
So
kind.
the back is taking a very tight line and basically playing the piano backside. So it'll look like zone. Like let's say it's duo right. It'll look like zone going to the left. And I forget how they say it to the running backs, but it's basically just beelining it towards the backside A gap, and you're going to play the piano all the way out. And it's usually like with a tight end attached, maybe a tight end and a wing. So it's like heavy 12, 13 personnel type of play. And we ran a lot of that at Weaver. A lot of bootlegs off of our wide zone and stuff. So like, think of like an Oregon State type of offense. I would say that was like Oregon State back in 2020 or 2021 is a lot of the film that we watched to execute our offense. So I would say that was what it was like there.
Okay, so there's a lot of different ways of how you can adjust, but it proves that you can play at any of those type of schemes that they have you play at, huh?
Yeah, and you know what? If a coach is good, you're gonna learn quick. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, it's the NFL. They're gonna have the best of the best.
So, what NFL teams have you met with?
I haven't met with any yet,
but pretty soon you will, huh?
Yeah, hoping so.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. So, outside of football, who are you as a person?
I'm a family guy. A lot of the times just spending time with my wife. We love to fish, so we're outdoors people. I grew up like a country guy, so it doesn't take much for me to have fun. I try to keep active, enjoy time with my wife when it's not crazy football season. I fly fish though. That's like probably my biggest hobby. Been doing it for a good probably 4 or 5 years. Kind of got into it when I got to college.
Oh yeah. It's got to be challenging, but man, just from those years going by, what do you take away from all your college experience that you can take to the next level, man? Just from all that experience you went through.
I would say the biggest thing is not to dwell on the negative and to stay in the positive. There's this book that we use at Utah State as a structural kind of structures your day and structures your goals, right? And it's called the Fearless Mind Journal. And a big emphasis in that is staying 3-1 positive to negative, when really you can even get it up to 6-1. And once I learned that, I think my football career has changed, and I think my outlook on life has changed, and I think carrying that into the next level will be big.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they say, you take it into the next chapter. You look at it. You don't look at the negative as a bad way. You build it as a feel or positive kind of mindset and all that.
Yep.
So
something to learn from.
It showed you that you went the hard way and got to be where you're at. So yeah. As far as all that, man, like let's do a little more of another way to put it. What's the area of weakness that you need to improve on at the next level? You know, we all got weakness. We all got something we can work on to get better at.
Right. I think hand placement, it can be an issue for me at times. Especially on interior guys, because interior guys are much stronger. With edge guys, you can get away with punching off. You know what I mean? As long as your feet are in good positions, I feel pretty confident at 310 that I can stop a guy at 240, 250, kind of what that DN body looks like. But, when you get in the interior, you're dealing with dudes just as big as you are that are probably a little bit twitchier than you are. That's why they're playing D-line. So I think hand placement and the run and the pass are two things I could definitely improve on big time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hand placement's important for offensive line. Even the footwork's one is another important key for some people, but I'm pretty sure you got the good footwork, so I don't think that's the issue, right?
Feet-wise, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident in my feet for sure.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So we'll do some rapid fire, get to know a little more about you, and I'll put something relatable to you. I guess would you prefer fishing or deer hunting?
I like fishing. You're not having to hike too far. I'm a big guy. I don't we don't love big old long hikes, but deer hunting's great too. Gone with my buddies quite a few times.
Oh man, but hey, you can't go wrong with either choice because I know in some states it's outdoor and there's a little bit of different stuff. So, I mean, as far as like I don't know, do you do game consoles or no?
I dabble. I would say I got a PS5. But the only things I really play are like sports games. So it's like NBA, Madden, NCAA, MLB, and
Okay.
I just kind of stick to those.
Seems like you already had PlayStation over Xbox. I guess you said like okay, so Madden and NCAA. Which one would you prefer?
I like NCAA, but I think all college football players are kind of biased.
Oh man, hey,
but you can't be in a game and not just rep that thing.
Well, is it kind of interesting that you're on the video game or not really?
I think it's sick. Like wherever this football career goes, like that's going to be so cool one day to show our, especially as college football guys, like to show our kids that we were in a video game one day. Like,
oh yeah,
especially my generation,
It'll be past your time and they're going to be like saying, I didn't know you were on the video game cover. Like, was that you right there?
I'll be like, yeah, I was playing quarterback,
or the other way around. But like, wouldn't it be kind of cool just to go on Madden also, just to be on the video game also? That would be something.
Yes, true. It would be cool.
So, okay, are you a wrestling fan or not really?
Like wrestling?
No, like pro wrestling or anything like.
Oh, like WWE or anything like that?
Yeah, like both of them.
No, I think when I was younger, I probably thought that stuff was pretty sweet to watch, but I don't even watch it anymore.
People grow out of it, yeah. People grow out of it. But if you had to choose a certain wrestler, The Rock or Stone Cold, who would you go with?
Ooh. I got to support my polys, man. I'm going The Rock.
Oh, it doesn't matter. or John Cena or Randy Orton, man. Those are another good ones, too. The Viper, man.
I don't know Randy Orton too well.
But he's one of the he's that
guy. He's the RKO guy though, huh?
Yeah, he's the RKO guy. He's the one that comes as a heel or a good guy sometimes.
You know what? I'll go Randy Orton.
Oh man, you gotta hear voices.
You want me to vote?
Nah, but in all seriously, man, like when you look at it this way, bro, it's gotta be a rewarding process just to go from what you went through, right? So do you feel like the moment is surreal or is it business as usual, bro? Because, not everybody gets a chance to live out a dream that you're living out, man. There's just 1 out of a million chances that they get to do this.
I feel it's back and forth, there's like days where you're reflecting and you're like, wow, and then I'm out here training in Fresno. So like a lot of days I'm just locked in. I'm just focused doing the same thing I've been doing for the last 5 years. That's gotten me to the position now, just doubling down on the work and trying to just let the cards fall where they may.
Oh, that's cool. So you're not too far from me, man. I'm right down Clovis, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe if you're still around town, maybe we can link up and something like that, man. But
that'd be great.
That'd be great, man. But yeah, it's got to be cool to go from a different environment, huh? Just to get ready, right?
Yeah. It's tough being away from the wife. She's doing school right now, so it's tough doing that part. But honestly, I really enjoy the training that I'm getting out here. I feel like I'm getting stronger, getting faster. Body feels good, so it's been a blessing. And I don't mind California. I'm from Utah, so it's a whole different vibe, but
yeah, whole different vibe compared to where you're at. You grew up in a cold weather environment.
Oh yeah, the weather here has been pretty nice, other than the fog. So
yeah, other than the fog, yeah, that's the only downside around here. It's like it gets like that around here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It would be like foggy till like 10, 11 a.m. I'm like,
yeah. Like I don't know, like people would say San Francisco has that type of fog issue, but not like around Fresno. You might be surprised; it's a little foggy at times around this time of the year. Yeah, but yeah, bro. But in all seriously, bro, It's gonna be worth the process. You're just living the moments, bro. Not everybody has stories, bro. So it's like you get a chance to live out the dream.
Exactly.
But hey, man, whatever happens from here on out, bro, definitely rooting for you, and hopefully that team who takes a chance on you gets the best out of you, man.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, man. And if you are really going to play center, man, please, for the name of God, please come to the Niners. We need a new center, man. We need somebody who can finish blocks and who can actually go to the next play if something doesn't happen. Not to take a knock on the guy, but, man, come on. Finish your blocking assignment, man.
I can't comment. That might be my teammate at some point.
Oh, man. No, I'm just trying to put a reference, man. I'm looking for somebody that could do the job, man. But maybe he might be more helpful for you. But, man, come on.
Hey, I'll go wherever.
Whatever happens, man. Whatever happens, man. I mean, whatever goes on from here, man. But, yeah, bro, like whatever happens, I'm rooting for you, man, regardless of wherever you go, bro. But just make the most out of it is all I can say.
Will do. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. And, for sure, bro, and for everybody else, tell everybody who you are again, and we'll go from here.
Jake Eichorn, Utah State left tackle.
For sure, and for everybody else, go check out Jake Eichorn. The last name kind of has a little butcher, like he said, it's a German last name, so it's Eichorn, guys, so don't get it, like, twisted, man. But in all seriously, man, y'all want protection? Get my Mormon buddy over here that can protect you from the side. See, I could be funny, bro, but in all seriously, man, go check him out. Utah State, man. Jake Eichorn, man. Go check him out.
Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, bro.